What is up, ladies and gentlemen? We are back for another episode here on the South Florida Tribune. I'm your host tonight on 108 Stitches Baseball Talk, Stephen Rychel, being joined by the gentleman to my right is the Southern Fried Gentleman, Mr. J.D. Wyatt. J.D., how are you feeling this evening, my friend?
Man, I'm feeling great. Ready to talk about baseball. And who knew that it had 108 stitches anyway? What a clever name for a show. And I'm happy to join you guys. Make sure to hit like, follow, share, and subscribe.
We already got your boy Mark up in the chat already talking about it. What is up, my friend? How we feeling this evening, Mark?
Oh, he's going to be all in.
I'm with you on that one.
On your Phillies talk. He'll be all in on your Phillies talk.
Hey, listen, we're gonna have some things tonight we're obviously probably gonna disagree on just because the natural rivalry thing, but we'll get into a little bit about that too. But obviously, Scott and Candy are over the pond enjoying their vacation, things of that nature. So big shout out to them. But we got to keep the wheels rolling. Tonight, we're going to be talking 108 Stitches Baseball Talk, and we are going to be talking some baseball. And the big news of this weekend, we're going to go on each side. Let's start on the East Coast, and obviously, I'm going to talk about my Phillies because me and you were just talking about it before we got on air. When was the last time you seen two runners score almost simultaneously in Major League Baseball? Last time I've seen that was Rookie of the League, Rookie of the Year. Freaking movie, Henry Rowan Gardner sitting there running the bases and Major League Baseball players right up his butt. But here in Philadelphia, we just had a reenactment of it. I think the last time was like in the 70s with Carlton Fisk. But Castellanos, scored. Realmuto scored basically immediately. One of those goofy moments in baseball, man. You don't see it too often, so I definitely thought it was something worth talking about tonight. Obviously, oh, Mark, I gotta love you for that one. Appreciate that one, my friend. We'll get a little bit about not hearing about the Braves in a few minutes, but what are your thoughts on this one, JD? I mean, obviously, we were talking about it before we came on here. Like, you don't really see the double score in baseball just because of the way base running is. A lot of the runners ain't that slow. So,
right.
I'm surprised when you see the Phillies pull that one off.
I mean, honestly, I didn't even hear about it until you told me about it, but I am so glad that I now know about it. So y'all just saw the picture shared by Steven. Make sure, go look up the video. Just do Philadelphia or Phillies double score. It'll come up on any of your social media platforms. But bro, can I take a moment? Can I take a moment to shout out Henry Rowan Gardner that you mentioned? What was old Billy's name from Little Big League? When his granddad passed him down the ownership of the team.
What was that?
And he
That was the
Twins.
The Twins.
Yeah, and Billy. Yeah. I can't remember his last name.
Yeah, I don't remember. See, that wasn't what. That's not the one I really like. I liked Rookie of the Year a little bit better than that movie, but
right. Yeah. But yeah, shout out to all the baseball movies.
Well, since we're on the subject, I mean, which one of your favorite? Are you a Major League guy?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I love the Major League movies.
I mean, obviously we all love it. Just with the, regardless if you're a Major League 1 or a Major League 2, some of you even stayed around for Major League 3, but you had the change from Wesley Snipes over to Omar Epps in the second movie. So Pedro Serrano's definitely a character, and then everyone loves Mr. Charlie Sheen in that movie. It's one of the few movies that people actually do really care about him in.
Mm-hmm. Dude, I'm all for.
Here's one for you, Mr. Baseball, with Tom Selleck. And actually, if people remember, do you remember who took his job in that movie? Oh, no. It was just Frank Thomas. It was just Frank Thomas.
Wow. I completely forgot about that one.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about, like, can we just name all of the baseball movies? Okay, so
that's a lot, dude. I mean, obviously,
the Rookie with Dennis Quaid, though we haven't mentioned that one yet.
What? The Rookie?
The Rookie, yeah, with Dennis Quaid. How about Mr. 3000 with Bernie Mac?
Yeah.
That's a good one.
I
Angels
think
in
it's an
the
underestimated one.
outfield.
Huh?
Angels in the outfield.
Angels of the Outfield. The new one or the newer version or the older version?
Oh, the original.
So you don't like the one with Danny Glover in it and
I didn't even know there was another one.
what? You haven't
There's
seen
another Angels in the outfield?
Yes.
I had no idea.
Yeah, Mark, you got that one too. It's a
The
recent one too.
perfect game.
Yes, the perfect game. He's a
Pitch is a
Detroit
perfect game.
Tigers pitcher who's the owner management's about to get ready to kind of switch over, and it was
Who was his catcher in that
oh
movie?
come
Do
on,
y'all
Johnson
remember?
Riley, man.
Yeah. Hey, we couldn't remember the name, but we remember John C. Riley in there. Shake and bake.
Oh man. Yeah.
But anyway, we went down that rabbit hole. But yeah, as far as that baseball play, man, it reminds you of a movie. And that was a whole rabbit hole that we dove down. I hope y'all enjoyed it. I had a great time.
We just jumped on that rabbit hole. I mean, there's a lot of good baseball movies, and we just had to kind of throw them all some love a little bit there. But let's kind of get into that topic because obviously the Phillies have flipped things over the past few weeks, and they are now one of the they're only a game behind the Dodgers as far as the best record baseball right now. So it's kind of completely flipped upside down. It was a rough start for the Phillies. Obviously, it's even rougher start for your Bravos over there. I think you guys are like 10 back at this point in time. But last I checked, you were beating the Mets, so you could cut that in half if you hold on to that win tonight.
We are beating the Mets right now 3-2 in the top of the ninth. And that's what's crazy to me, though, in this NL East. Listen, we always know it's going to be the Phillies, the Mets, and the Braves. Death, taxes.
The Nationals are a foregone conclusion at this point in time.
I mean, the Nationals, anytime they've made any noise, they made the wild card. Right? I mean, have they won the division?
You can't completely forget about them. Like you got to remember the year that Bryce came to Philadelphia and signed. They won the World Series. So
right. Oh yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, they were 17-31, I think, that year, and come back and won the World Series. And so, as a Braves fan, though, that's all we've been hoping for is this miraculous win streak. All right, and then we sweep the Mets. And then turn around and lose 2-3
to the Marlins. Is that not the most National League Baseball, the National League East thing to ever do? Because the Marlins seems to do well just about against everyone in their division, but everyone outside the division, they are the worst team in baseball for half the time. It's a rough one.
There's and there's only 2 teams. I don't know if the Braves have surpassed this recently, but last time I checked, the Braves were like 3rd worst record in the National League, only ahead of the Marlins and the Rockies. Like the whole entire National League is really freaking good.
It's been flip flop. I mean, the Phillies. What was it? 2 years ago, completely take over the Mets there, or not the Mets, the Atlanta team that you guys were running, and we were trying to go back to back, right? And then we fall short against Houston. Then last year we drop a deuce on the bed and couldn't get by the Mets, who we had dominated during the regular season. So something that I was going to talk to Pat about, I guess I'll also talk about it to you. Obviously. You got rival eyes looking on it, but at this point in time, seeing what the Phillies have done, over the last 4 years or so, could you even possibly get behind that team being a team that could take a playoff run and capture a World Series title? Because I mean, I'm a Negadelphian. Don't get me wrong. I have to see this team do it. They have so many holes. They're so inconsistent. Some, the bats are streaky. There's so many things to not like about this Phillies team, but they find themselves in the mix, winning 95 plus games. I think each of the last two seasons, on pace to do it again this year. Can you get behind this team? Obviously, you're a Braves fan. It's hard for you to do that, but let's take your Braves hat off for a second. And let's put the media hat on. Would you be able to get behind a Phillies team?
Oh, listen, hey, we are 100% capable of being honest and objective here on Southern Fried Sports. And granted, hey, let me do this real quick. I already had the Atlanta hat turned backwards. So,
yes, he is, Cyberuski. Yes, he is. He is on a cruise. Enjoy it. You're dealing with our nonsense today, my friend.
Oh, and it's been good nonsense so far, Cyberuski. You already missed the movie talk, bro. We're on like Donkey Kong. But yes, we can take the hat off and turn it backwards, or take it off and be objective on Southern Fried Sports. Listen. Baseball is a very weird / funny game. You can call it quirky. You can call it weird. But some of the things you see happen on a baseball field, like the whole double score with the Phillies that we just saw. Steven, I don't know if we were going to talk about Ellie De La Cruz missing a ground ball in center field and then
just stops. Doesn't even move an inch. He doesn't even move an inch. I thought our center fielder situation was bad here in Philly. He didn't move. He was just like, "Oh, that play's over." It doesn't even go after the ball.
He was like, "Hey, go back. Where my backup at? Go get that." That's like when you was at the club a couple years ago. Back when we were younger, and somebody tried to step to you, you just turn around and be like, "Hey, back up, handle that." Literally, that's what Ellie De La Cruz did on a baseball field. He was like, "Hey, yo, my backup, can y'all? I missed it. My bad. Go ahead and take care of that." But anyways, that's what's wild. Baseball is a weird, funny, quirky game. The Phillies, though, look, the Mets are going to Mets until they prove me otherwise. So you said you don't trust your Phillies, and I'm the same way as a fan. I have negative, pessimistic feelings about my team as well. And so, yeah, listen, I don't want to hear none. I don't want to be a contender. I don't want MVPs. I don't want the first seed in the playoff. I don't want none of it. What I want them to do is go win, shut the hell up, and go about their business and bring me a championship. At the end of the day, that's all I care about. The action on the field.
I mean, that's all that should matter right now. I mean, when you think about it, right? Especially when you're a team that's won 100 games, you've been there. You kind of have the same nucleus and things of that nature. You have to sit there the only expectation I have for this team is win a World Series. You have at least 3 or 4 guys on the Phillies rotation making more than a decent amount of money. Obviously, everyone knows Harp's contract. You have Nolan just Aaron Nolan just signed a big contract this offseason. You have Kyle Schwarber, who's probably going to get a big contract this offseason. Says he wants to stay in Philadelphia. You have Trey Turner there. You have a good nucleus of guy. You have a good starting pitching rotation. The question is will the bats continue to stay there? And I have to see it long term. I've seen this team over the last 3 years fall short in the postseason after doing really well in the regular season. So it's like one of these things. Like I don't want to become the Dallas Cowboys, which we win the regular season, and then when it comes to the playoffs, we just don't show up. I have to see it. You have to show it to me first.
Steven, I love what you just said. I love every bit of it. And the one you saw me make the face, y'all. All right, so chat, make sure y'all get into the convo. Y'all stay active, stay on topic with us. Mark,
is that? We got a
I
Southern
said,
Pride, Steve. All right, brother.
well, hey, listen, hey, Ben Troop, very good friend of Steven. He's already laid claim to one of the Southern Fried gentleman names. So we're going to have to see. But listen, hey, we got to come up with me a South Florida name before we start making everybody else Southern Fried names. And y'all got to make sure y'all subscribe and like and share it with a friend for everybody, right, Steven?
Absolutely. Like, listen, I say it all the time when we're sitting here doing our thing on here. You know, share it with your mother, share it with your aunt, share it with your uncle, share it with your cousin, share it with everyone. Let everyone know where to have fun during the weeknights on your sports talk radio. Like, obviously, you know, we're not an ESPN driven station. You got your little man behind you, just so you know. So we're always having fun here on the South Florida Tribune. So, you know, obviously, yes, everyone, please make sure you show some love to us, and I'm gonna throw yours up here too to make sure you're showing JD some love, giving Southern Fried Sports some love on the social media platforms.
Absolutely, and I appreciate it. And so, what you just mentioned,
Mark,
though,
right? Gotta be pessimistic.
Exactly. I was about to mention this comment, and go ahead and get ready to clip this, okay? Let me go ahead and tell you right now. We can mark it down. 9:53 p.m. on 108 Stitches of Baseball. The Southern Fried Gentleman of Southern Fried Sports says 100% that the Atlanta Braves are the Dallas Cowboys of the NFL.
Ooh, no, I'm not going to give you. You've won a championship in 30 years. You can't say that, my friend. You cannot take that.
Hear me out, though. All of this regular season success, all of these division championships, all of this stuff, and very little championships to show from it.
We'll see about that, Dusty.
They've won 2 in 30 years of making the playoffs, basically. Like, at some point, the odds had to work in their favor. But they have choked away so many championships, the Braves have. And I feel the same way about the Cowboys. They have choked away a lot of championships.
We've won championships inside the last 20 years. Our World Series trophies doesn't have dust collecting on them and things of that nature. I mean, I still feel the Yankees stole one from us in 09, and then we shot ourselves in the foot in 010 and 011 with injuries and things. We haven't had this great success here in Philadelphia either. We got 2 World Series, since 1980. We've had multiple appearances, fell short in 83, losing to the Orioles. We have a lot of things going right for us, but it's just, see, even Pete did just agree with me. Not the Cowboys. That's crazy talk. Crazy.
But I know the Cowboys haven't won a championship in a while, but the Braves, they have a monopoly on where they're located also. Have you ever seen the map of the MLB stadiums? And if you haven't, you should look it up because it's wild. The Braves.
The curse of Terry Mulholland. There's a name drop for you right there, Terry Mulholland. I'm glad you mentioned Terry Mull here because this time next week, I'll be sitting here talking to Pat Combs, former Philadelphia Philly. So check that out.
Yeah, hey, shout out Pat Combs also.
Hey, Dusty,
y'all were supposed to
I'm not pulling that up, man. Yeah. You got to watch how you're talking about Scott in front of my presence, man. I'm not having it. I love you, brother. I love you speaking your mind and all that stuff. No disrespecting our founding father here, man.
Yeah.
We might be a little bit more funny? Yeah, sure, we might be. But we bring a little bit more energy than Scott does. Scott brings us a different kind of centering in cool and calm collective nature. We just bring the freaking shenanigans. So I get it. We still love you. Ain't no hate, brother. Take your apology. It's all good.
Yeah. Well, hey, listen, bro, you know me. I don't know if y'all watched the show last Thursday, but
Yeah, right. You got into it with some people, so it don't matter. Like
Yeah,
you know, we all have our moments where we got to check people and
yeah.
bring things back in.
I
And
calls it like I sees it. And shout out though to Joshua. That's what I was gonna mention too. I was gonna give him a shout out. Southern Fried looks like a dirty register. Trust me, there ain't no cash money over here though, bro. I might be a dusty register, but I'm empty. All right.
oh man,
And that's a cool comment because then I get to say something funny. And then we get to move on to more baseball, which is the theme of the show. So yeah,
yes,
we won't
we are going to
we
get
won't
on to
stand for no nonsense.
So I already brought up a few things there, but we gotta head out west, man, because Philadelphia wasn't the only craziness reinitiating some of our rivalries. Obviously, we're always gonna hate the Mets here in Philadelphia. It's our biggest rivalry. Those Braves are a close second. You're not quite on the radar, but one of the bigger rivalries that is underestimated in baseball is the Padres and the Dodgers, and boy, did they have a dust up this weekend. They've had a dust up. So Tatis was hit, bench is clear, right? Everyone's getting emotional. Things are going on in the field. Then next half inning, what happened? Pitch gets thrown at Ohani, and he waves off the bench. Nope. And that is that Japanese Korean baseball is put into him, where there's a certain way they go about things. There's only certain times that we go after and run the mound. We go back to Mr. Baseball. You'll see that if you ever watch that movie, guys. You got it. If you haven't, go check that one out. But I'm gonna say this, man. Otani just really shows the true gentleman that he is, but the true professional that he is. Not wanting his teammates to get suspended, not wanting them to lose money, paychecks, etc., and just showing a type of leadership. Like, yeah, I took one took one there. They may have been retaliating for because my guys hit Tatis the last half and waves them off, but that's an underestimated rivalry. Don't you agree? Like we're gonna get into this now. Rivalries in Major League Baseball, but I think that's an underestimated one. The Padres and the Dodgers. What do you think? Because I think a lot of people think it's the Giants and the Dodgers just because of proximity, but
It could be proximity. It could be recency bias. It could be the level of competition. The Padres they were down for a lot of years. Down for a lot of years, the Padres were. But then you've seen them with their young stars. Fernando Tatis Jr. signing big deals. Isn't that where Juan Soto started?
Yes,
Before he went to the Yankees. So
yes.
they've been on the up and up. And so that I couldn't put Padres Dodgers over Giants Dodgers rivalry. But if we're talking about 1 year right now, yes, it's better. I mean, the Padres started out hot, got a great record. The Dodgers do too. I hate the Dodgers and how much money they're spending. I do. Like, I used to hate the Yankees when they did it, man. The Yankees got so many Braves players that were free agents. Mark Teixeira, Andrew Jones, Max Fried. Good gravy. I know I'm forgetting a ton.
But here's the thing about that: all that money they spent over the last 30 years. How many World Series did it get them? They stole one from us. Oh, nine. I'm gonna take that one on the chin, right? That was paid for. CC Sabathia, A-Rod's on that team, all that. They were loaded.
Well,
But
and
even go ahead.
No, sorry. I was just going to say, and to tie all of that in a nice little bow, not really the whole segment, but just our thoughts in general from earlier as well.
Mm-hmm.
Baseball is a weird game. Just because you buy the most expensive roster, same thing, college football. They going to learn the most expensive roster is not always going to win, like Ohio State last year. In baseball, exactly to your point, the Dodgers, the Yankees have not won the championships to support the money they've spent for those quote unquote championship teams. And so it's just weird. Baseball, the baseball, that thing with 108 stitches, it don't
I love that
care.
one. I love that one.
It don't care. That baseball with 108 stitches, it don't care how much money you making. It'll make you look good or it'll make you look dumb. What did he say? What did P. Digits say? Yeah. Yeah. Hey, P. Digits. Me and him, we had a great talk about baseball the other day. He actually contributed to the article I wrote about baseball being weird.
Yeah, there's another one, right? He has to be. They named the freaking the street name adjacent to to Petco Park, to, Tony Gwynn. So yeah, he is absolutely the best one that came out of there. I mean, you can name other guys that played good there and things of that nature, but man, come on.
Right. I can say one absolute thing in this world, other than death and taxes that we mentioned earlier. Tony Gwynn was the best contact hitter in baseball of all time, period. No one will ever do what he did.
The only one you
can
kind of put in that argument is Pete Rose, but people want to try to exclude him because of his off the field shortcomings, right?
Right. Yeah.
But
listen, Pete had a lot of hits, but
he wasn't a pure hitter the way Tony is.
Right. And I'm talking about just the strikeouts.
And that's the other thing. It wasn't just that he was a pure hitter. He had, in all lacks of a better term, like the eagle eye of seeing pitches. He just had a gift. He was special in that world. So, there were some guys that have as many strikeouts in a season they do. Tony Gwynn wouldn't even get close to that in his entire career. Is just, the way we go. But also you got to think the way of baseball, the way the game's played has totally changed since then. So.
Right. Well, and then you had Greg Maddux. And when I mean contact hitter by Tony Gwynn, I mean he wasn't striking out. Either he was going to get a hit or he would make the defense make a play. Sometimes people overthink things. The best way to win in baseball is the most simple way. If you get a runner at first base, sacrifice bunt him over to second. Or hit and run. Get something to put the defense on their toes. But a lot of people are trying to play chess when baseball is actually checkers. You're using that brain too much.
I mean, that's what a lot of guys try to do. Like, especially the pitchers, they try to get you to overthink on things and just catch you in off speed stuff when you're looking for that for that heat. So, one of the things you got to love about baseball, man, it's ever evolving in that way, and sometimes it literally is the simplest thing. I still think that way it's played now, we're doing a little too much money ball, so to speak. And speaking of which, that's one of the movies we did not name when we were talking about baseball movies.
Fair.
We didn't talk about Sandlot either.
There were so many
Bears.
Hey, that's fine. We probably got a new audience. Anybody else got any good movies?
I mean,
come on, chat.
Over the last few minutes, so we'll kind of circle back to some of that as we get back to it. But now obviously that's one of the underestimated rivalries. But I think it's fair to say, if you're a baseball fan, I think and you're not from the city of New York, it's kind of a universal thing that we don't like the Yankees, right? Or do we have to throw the Dodgers in that talk now too, because the way they throw money around?
Oh, absolutely. Dodgers have absolutely surpassed that point. As a matter of fact, they might even be worse than the Yankees. Listen, and the reason I say that is very simple. The Yankees weren't deferring a bunch of money to pay somebody those contracts. They was just paying it. And here, I'll tell you what, y'all can clip this one too. They were just stroking it. They were stroking them checks. New York Yankees, they spin it. The Dodgers, man, they trying to be weird about it. They go, think about this. Shohei Ohtani will be the new Bobby Bonilla. Which, by the way, everybody, Bobby Bonilla Day is coming up. July the 4th, I think it is.
We're down to the last few years now, aren't we?
I think he's got like 3 left, maybe. $1 million a year for like 30 years. Please give me that. My goodness gracious. Talk about a deal.
He's not the only one. Like, I think up until like a few years ago, Ken Griffey's was still getting paid by the Reds, and he was getting paid like I think it was like $3.36 million.
Madcraft over here, he agrees. Dude wasn't even that good. Yes,
Well, Bonilla?
Yes.
He was good for a period of time. He was. Let's not take anything away from Bobby, right?
Right. Oh no, he was good. But I mean, it would be like.
But he maxed out when he was in Pittsburgh, and he had Barry Bonds in the lineup. Let's remember that.
What if I said that Bobby Bonilla reminds me of maybe like Prince Fielder? So imagine
Prince Fielder got stopped because of injuries, not because of he just stopped hitting the baseball.
Right.
Injuries, well, no, I still remember to this day, like him being so emotionally upset that he had to retire.
Right. Oh,
here's how old we are right now. Prince's son's about to start hitting the minor league soon.
Right. But okay, all of that's fair. Absolutely. I'm not going to disagree with any of that. I hate how it ended for Prince. What I meant was, and my comparison was, it would be like paying Prince Fielder like Bobby Bonilla. That's what I was mentioning. Is that deferred money? That's what I was talking about. Yeah, like if they still paid, golly, I don't know. Who could I think of? What if the Braves still paid Chipper Jones for a crazy contract he signed? Would Braves fans be okay with that? If you're winning championships, they don't care. But if you're the Braves, oh, we'd be pissed right now. Like if we're not winning, and yeah, go ahead.
What if it was David Justice, because he's the one that went to New York. Then he obviously we're talking Moneyball again. He winds up going to Oakland, goes to different places. Right. Listen, Josh. I've had enough of this.
That's what I was responding to. That's what I was.
Listen, brother. We will get to the responses when it is warranted and it is within what we're talking about. We're not ignoring you. Bring something to the table, my friend. We don't ignore y'all. I don't ignore y'all. Stop with that.
Bro, I'm literally over here having a conversation with Madcraft because we're talking about baseball and the topic that we're talking about. So again, I don't have a problem telling anybody to go kick rocks. But
I'm not telling Josh to kick rocks, but I'm like, yo, we're not ignoring y'all. Like, we're letting the conversation be natural. When one of your comments is worthwhile bringing up and it is within the realm of what we're talking about, I'm gonna bring it up.
Gamecock Chuck said nope, but all his exes would love it. I don't know who he's talking about there. I missed that one. Madcraft talks about Jason Hayward. That's one that the Braves signed that didn't pan out.
The vomit. No, they're not good. If they were good, I would bring them up. You're just trying too hard to get your stuff put on air. Try to just be involved in the conversation, buddy.
Yeah. Madcraft, he brings up a good one. He said that would be acceptable. Chipper is no Eddie Rosario. He's not Barry Bonds. He's not the guy.
Unless we're talking about some, I'm not even going to go there. Now I'm going to ignore you. How about that one? Now I'm ignoring you. Man.
Yeah. Hey, yes, you did mention Anthony Rizzo a minute ago. I love Dusty and Braden. I think that says. You did mention that. I didn't mean to mention that comment. That is one we missed because of Joshua's nonsense. So, yes, Anthony Rizzo. What do you think about him, Steven, as a player? You got any thoughts on Anthony Rizzo, Steven?
He's a Yankee. A big middle finger to him. I mean, listen, I'm from Philadelphia. I have nothing but hate and disdain for the state of New York. Nothing. I have nothing nice to say about anyone who plays for the state of New York. It's just I don't know if it's a proximity thing or what. It's just we're that's just how we're raised. This would be like me telling a Georgia Bulldog person, what do they love about the Florida Gators? You're gonna get it's oil and water. You're not gonna get the two to mix.
Right. No, yeah, I hear you. 100% fair. How about Joshua though? He did drop a name drop for us. How about Josh Beckett? I remember he was a really good pitcher there for a minute. Could throw the ball hard. I definitely put him on my MLB.
Yes, I know, Jamie. If you go to my Facebook, which is very easy to find, there's multiple pictures of me and Philly Sports Guy. I actually ran into Philly Sports Guy at Bare Knuckle Mania back at the end of January. Jamie's a cool dude. Caught him at many different events, many football type stuff and stuff in between. He's awesome dude. And actually, Jamie's a good contributor to our boy Bo for his football talk show as well. But get in there, brother. I know you were trying to say something.
I was just going to tell you to go one comment above from where you just had. P digits. Throwing a subtle shot Chipper Jones way. There was a whole allegation about him cheating on his wife.
Who? Listen.
But
baseball players cheating on their wives. Shocking. They're on the road more than freaking basketball players. Are we, as Scott would say, seriously? Really? Seriously? Come on, man.
Yeah, it's weird, though. I mean, you don't really hear about it, though, much. I mean, every once in a while, there's a crazy baby mama. I mean, Zion Williamson.
I could name at least a handful of Philadelphia players who are beloved in this town that have a bad reputation of running around on their wives. Shane Victorino. I heard he was an absolute POS down to PJ Willihan's, hitting on anything that had some melons in a round bottom. It didn't matter. These dudes, when they get to a certain level, especially in the city, you won a championship, things of that nature. Your eyes are gonna wander. These women are gonna be flocking around you, and guess what? Someone's gonna wind up at someone's hotel room getting the nitty gritty down.
And with that said, family show, everybody, eyes up here. But yes, we're talking about sports. And things do happen sometimes. A couple more comments we'll get in. Matt Kraft. He said, what I mean is Chipper Jones being paid now is acceptable. It is not cool to still be paying Rosario because Rosario is not Jones or Bonds or Griffey. Give me.
Listen, as far as when we're talking about the deferments, like I fully think that we're going to have to deal with that at some point in time with Bryce, because he's already trying to get an extension on the 13-year contract that we signed him when he came here. So I fully expect to have to eat some money at the end of a contract. He's been injured just about every year he's been here. I would not want to sign him to any type of extension, but he is one of the current faces of baseball, so it's one of those things that we're going to have to deal with. I don't want to have to do it. I don't think he deserves an extension. You got to get the World Series before we can even have that conversation. And I want to make sure Kyle Schwarber's paid because he's one of the few guys that are playing right now that has over 300 home runs.
Oh, yeah. That's facts. You just got more facts. And then P. Digits did say Chipper Jones, heck of a player at Georgia Tech. Did well with the Braves.
He's a Hall of Famer for a reason. Like, listen, he's a stinking Atlanta Brave, but he's one of the best third basemen that we've ever seen. You can put him like fifth. Mike Schmidt's number one. You can't touch it. I'm sorry. Gold Gloves was one of the best power hitting third basemen of anyone's time.
Best switch hitter of all time, probably.
I mean, Schmidt's a legend. The only thing he didn't do well was coach. That's it.
Right. And then, yeah, so we'll clear out the comments, and then I'll let you move over and take on.
Blasphemy right there. Blasphemy. Craft's going at him. What do you think on that one?
Hey, if it'll help my team win. Craft, listen,
you have to give up so much to get him there.
Matt Craft going to be mad when he goes back and listens to some of the stuff we've said. You know what MAD stands for?
There's no way he's leaving Philadelphia, first off. Second off, all right, let's just say there's a complete disassociation between front office and Harper, right? You would have to give us a king's ransom to get him out of here. Because that's the only way the Philadelphia fan base would ever allow it. You would have to give up multiple stars and a couple, not just blue chip prospect, guaranteed prospects. So you can say what you want. I mean, I don't think it sounds crazy because Harper brings a kind of feel back to baseball that like he just one of these guys that you root for. You want to see them win a championship. You want to see them hit the ball. He has a swagger, an aura, whatever you want to call it. He's just one of those guys. That's why he was brought here. I mean, you know, this town was in love with Chase Utley head over heels for the longest time. You can't talk to anyone, anyone of the opposite sex right now. Ask them that who's the baseball player that they would most like to spend time with. No one's gonna say Chase Utley anymore. It's all number 3. It's all Bryce Harper. So
yeah. Oh, listen, I love Chase Utley. Bryce Harper, I'd love to have him as a Brave. It won't happen. Mad Craft, which that's what I was going to tell you. MAD. It stands for Managing Atlanta Disrespect. He says if we would all just be positive about the Braves, they would win. So, Steven, I don't know.
That has nothing to do with it. Okay.
Listen, I don't know if you've tried it.
You're going to go to the Trey Turner talk and what happened a few years ago here in Trey Turner when he was in that funk, right? He was absolutely in that funk. And they did a Netflix series on it, how they just, the fans would just go out there and instead of, do what we normally do when a player is playing bad, they quite turn the other side and just did another approach with Trey, and it kind of brought him out of it. But I mean, there's still things that personally I don't think Trey Turner is a Philadelphia athlete, but he's one of Bryce's good friends. He's one of the better players in baseball. But man, come on, man, are you really gonna go there with me, man? All right, here's the thing. I gotta ask you.
Go ahead. Listen, I want to hear.
The first city that you visited, were you wearing the other team's jersey? That's all I'm gonna say. If you're wearing the other team's jersey, you're going to be treated in such a way. I just seen. Oh man, I don't even remember where it was from. I think a Mets fan brought her family over the weekend, and she just talking about being heckled. And listen, dude, I remember we were playing Arizona Cardinals Monday Night Football, right? I watched a guy get a whole freaking vat of freaking fried turkey dumped on him. the Cardinals aren't even our rivals. It's just, listen, you have to come undercover when you're coming to Philadelphia. That is the way you're going to be able to be an opposing fan in our stadium. You got, you just had Eli Manning at Fanatics Fest. Basically, if you're going to Philadelphia, be prepared to be flipped off by a 6-year-old. This is the mentality that we bring. Doesn't matter if it's football, baseball, basketball, hockey. You're an opposite team in our area. You're going to be heckled. You're going to have to deal with just the overall obnoxiousness of the Philadelphia fan base. I'm not talking nonsense, man. Are you really seriously going down this road?
No, he's not, dude.
I'm giving you real facts to help you the next time you do want to catch your Braves, you do want to catch your Mets, etc. I'm giving you how you're going to survive this. We're rude. No shit. No shit. That's what we are. We're passionate. We're in your face. We're going to be cursing your mother out. That's who we are. And guess what? The players freaking love it.
Wow.
I don't know how y'all can sit in there and say we're the worst when you have Dallas Cowboy fans openly running around acting like every year they're going to win something. We're the worst, though. I got you, man.
Hey, listen, I just got my seatbelt on for this car wreck. I'm chilling. Y'all go ahead, bash Steven for being a Philadelphia fan.
Bash him. We got it up right there. Now, you never wear colors in Philly. You're quiet. You're mute. It's the only way you're going to survive a game in Philadelphia.
There's a radio host that I know of who has claimed to have a bottle of urine poured on his head as a Florida Gator fan in Death Valley at LSU. Literal fact, according to him. A fan of another team poured urine on him.
Mark, you don't know. We'll waste just about anything. If you
put
get
a
the right
take on it,
or should I say, if you get the wrong crowd, that they'll waste a pretzel, they'll waste a beer, they'll waste whatever they can get their hands on the waste on making sure that you are the most uncomfortable person in our area. It's just I don't know what to tell you. It's just ingrained in us that way.
Oh yeah, Mark says he was joking though there too, and then I'll tell you another joke. I know people. I know the way.
I know you're not bashing me personally. Listen, I'll defend my fan base to a point. There's definitely a point, like especially when you're already in the stadium. Like, listen, enjoy the game. Forget about whoever's doing this, whoever's saying that. Words should mean absolutely nothing to you both ways. Listen. We've only done this a handful of times, and this has not happened at any point in time. The things they love mentioning about us happened 40 years ago, 50 years ago. Santa Claus happened in the 70s, right? And it was done in a way that just set the city off. It wasn't like we were just, oh, here's Santa Claus, let's throw snowballs at him. That's not what happened. They did this terrible halftime production and then try to dust Santa Claus off to kind of get the fans going, and it backfired on them. Freaking Norman Brayman and his ball-headed ideas.
Hey, listen, I'm loving the comments. I'm loving this. I know we're down a rabbit hole at the moment, but we'll keep rolling if you go with it. Now, we'll get back to it.
Wanted to attack my phone. We still have a couple baseball times going to it.
Yeah, did you see Matt Kraft though?
We're not. Oh my God!
One woman from Philly came down, got threatened to get shot because he asked what kind of cheese.
Listen, the cheese is just as bad as saying that you got a Philadelphia steak and it's not in Philadelphia. There's a couple things to the perfect cheesesteak. I got in a discussion with this on Twitter. Someone had taken a picture. It was a seeded roll. I'm not sure where it was from. I'm like, listen. We all have different palates. We all have different likes and dislikes. An Amorosa roll. The big thing is it's a lot of say whiz. The yellow cheese. I break that. Whether it's American, I'm a Cooper Sharp guy. I love my Cooper Sharp. So if I'm having a cheesesteak, I got to have Cooper Sharp on it. So there's
Okay, well,
a couple different rules to the cheesesteak. Go ahead, brother.
I was about to say this might be blasphemy. I've never even heard of Cooper Sharp.
But see, most people do the whiz. They just do the yellow whiz. That's
no.
I like either American or Cooper Sharp. I like the white cheese, so to speak.
Right. Well, what is Cooper Sharp? I've never heard of that.
You never heard of Cooper Sharp? Oh my God, brother! It will change your life. I promise you. You will not eat. You'll not eat another hoagie, another sandwich without it.
Cooper Sharp.
Yeah, it's a type of cheese.
I promise you, I've never seen that wide receiver name in my grocery store ever on a bag of cheese. I've seen sharp cheddar. I've seen medium sharp. I ain't never seen no Cooper Sharp. Y'all ever heard of Cooper Sharp?
There are places that try it. It's a couple things. It's the type of steak that is used, and it's the roll. The roll is what makes the whole thing. It's not too chewy. It's not too air. It's just the Amorosa roll is what brings it all together. It's just my opinion. Everyone has, like I said, everyone has their own palates. They have their own likes, dislikes when it comes to someone you want fried onions, someone you might like mushrooms. We all have our different likes when it comes to stuff like that. So, yeah, I had to make sure I give Matt Krabs in there because he was giving us a compliment there. But
he said he's thinking.
Even Digits knows it. It's in the bread, man. It's in the bread. It's in the bread, fellas. I'm telling you.
Give me a dash of horseradish sauce on there too.
But this is what I'm saying. Like when it comes to food, like we all have our different. We have different palates, man. So there are certain things that I may sit there and say like this is a must, and you're like I said, I just said Cooper Sharp cheese. You're like, what is that? What's that? So I'm sure when this is over, JD's gonna be Googling like, oh, what the hell is that?
I'm gonna be looking up Cooper Sharp. I'm gonna be looking up how to make a quick cheesesteak. Anything I can do, because I'm already hungry.
But
and you know what I'm hungry for? Let's more baseball
back in because there's a topic that I know you wanted to get on. There was some hoopla going on in the NCAA baseball world, and we got through an inning of a game, barely an inning of a game, and we seen what was it, the
Coastal Carolina coach Kevin Schnall.
But I mean, we're talking about a College World Series finale, right? We're talking NCAA baseball tournament, and we're obviously we're still having problems with freaking umpires. Don't matter if it's major league level, college level. We need this strike zone fixed. We need the umpires to stop calling strikes when they're 10 feet out of the strike zone. And these managers should be able to call them out on it. And these umpires need to stop getting in their feelings, sitting there thinking they control the game. I have a problem with this. Like we seen it a few years ago, a video like it was a spring training game. Ramuto went to call for the ball. He thought the umpire was going to throw it in himself. He moves his glove. The umpire throws him out of the freaking game. You do not run the game. The game runs the game. The players run the game. The superstars pay your contracts. I do not want to be seeing, our managers thrown out after an inning because you're blind as a bat. Go ahead, JD. I know you want to touch on this. I went on my rant.
Oh, no. I was just sitting back and fully entertained because I have a couple of things. And listen, we didn't even talk about it beforehand. And you just led me there. Automated balls and strikes. Guess what wouldn't have happened if there were automated balls and strikes?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wait a minute. Kevin Schnall probably wouldn't have been arguing with the umpire that he missed 3 pitches. You see where I'm going with this? Listen, I don't care how you got to do it. I don't care if it takes automated balls and strikes. I don't care if it takes robo umps. The NFL is a whole different story to figure out their reffing system. However, just get it right. And Kevin Schnall, if that was arguing, his wife must hate him, because that is the most simple and easy comment that I've ever seen someone get ejected for. He said, you missed 3 pitches. You missed 3 pitches. If that was arguing, if that was old school manager going nuclear on an umpire, if that was arguing, bro, I feel bad if you ever see that man fight. He could beat up the whole world based on that little bit of argument that he supposedly had. Granted, it wouldn't have made much difference between the game results.
But still, like, it's one of these things, man. Like, I can't stand
But it's
this. Like,
mostly
you
about
letting
it's
your
about the umps.
feelings control you throwing a manager out. I have a problem with that. Now, if he's breaking one of the actual baseball rules, listen, you can call out an umpire for missing calls. Like, listen, you know, through the first half inning, you missed 3 calls. We only had 3 batters up. That shouldn't warrant. You're out of here. That shouldn't warrant it. You need more than that. He needs to be, you know, invading your space, touching you physically. There's things of that nature that, yes, when those lines are crossed, you can toss them. But if he's just sitting there like talking like normal people, just having it like, listen, you missed 3 on that one. You're out of here. What? What are we doing?
Right. Well, and there's 2 other things you just said there. He had the quick trigger, and it's about not going to that length. I completely lost my train of thought as I was doing it. I was looking over here at what Madcraft said. Madcraft, though, he says, while fair, the ejection was for the comments made. Could he still have been thrown out even if automated calls were there? He says yes. What I was going to say, though, is I even made a YouTube short about the play the day before that went against LSU, and I was even rooting for Coastal. But the dude literally turned his arm in and got hit with the ball. He did what he's trained to do.
He was trained to do, and then J.D. was gone. I mean, what I think on this one, man, is real simple. Like, when we're getting into this, like when we're talking about, you know, implementing the zone without having, he is going go. We're still going to have issues where guys are being thrown out, but that's when you're raising your voice, when you know, you're getting emotional to when you're acting out in that nature. So, I mean, I hear you on that one, but like, what are you gonna do? And he is back. Pete digits.
That's what umpires say. You are out of here. I was just simulating my ejection. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, brother.
All right. Goodness, Madcraft and P digits.
Yep.
There was one other really good point, though, that I completely forgot. and it will not come back to me.
You're
I know. Oh,
not going to
I
get me
got
on
it.
that. We've already debated it, made. Like, listen, I can get what you're trying to do. You're the little kid that has to continually touch things after being told not to touch things. You want to still touch things. It's all right. I can take it, brother. Listen, here's the thing. In reality, what you hate is that your fan base isn't as passionate as ours, and not accepted by the entire city, by all four major sports teams. That's what you're really upset about. Just be honest.
Right. Well,
I know.
he does. I do know you're playing, but Steve just nailed that, bro. When he said you're the kid that wants to keep touching things when you're told to stop. God, love it. That was good. Mattcraft, I know you know that's funny. That's funny. And so the other thing about this umpire, though,
Yes.
Angel Campos or Angel, I don't care. He
Please
was
don't bring Angel
fired.
into this.
He was fired by the MLB. Somehow or another, though, he's been good enough to come get a job for the NCAA, who probably has no idea who won the College World Series yesterday. They probably have no idea that a head coach was thrown out of the game because the NCAA knows nothing. And so here we are. This coach, this umpire, who got fired from the MLB, is somehow good enough to come and be an umpire for the College World Series. And then the other thing, you mentioned touching and pushing referees. The Coastal coaches are blamed for doing that. The dude tripped. Kevin Schnall, even after the game, said, I don't understand why I am being held responsible for another grown man's athletic ability. That's what the head coach from Coastal said regarding the umpire who tripped over another umpire and somehow claims that he was pushed. NCAA, listen, wake up, get out of the trunk, evaluate this video, and exonerate these people from doing these terrible things. They don't deserve suspensions going into next year. Get that out of here. It's crazy. And that is the last thing I have about the Coastal Carolina ejection. Magra. Exactly. And,
That was just
another
the
thing.
people at the stadium. Let's now double that. Now it's going viral.
Right. Well, and hey, even the head coach even said afterwards, Kevin Schnall, he said, yeah, there's 25,000 people up here. He's like, I didn't even hear the first warning.
I already said it. When umpires have the shortest triggers of all, of the referees in any of the sports. A lot of people like to pick apart. I still think the worst overall officiating is in the NBA, but the shortest triggers has to be held to just baseball umpires in general. There's I don't know, maybe they wanted to be players and they just didn't have the athletic ability to do so, and this is where they're left with. Pete just hit another one, that divas. I think NBA referees are just terrible in general. I mean, we talk about the NFL, but that's just it's subjective at times, and there's a lot that goes on to be an NFL referee where it's just tough. I agree that there's ones that should probably never see the light of day in some of these bigger games, especially when we get into the nuts and bolts of a season, but Major League Baseball umpires have to be divas, ego complexes. They have the shortest of the short fuses, man. It's been known for some time now. Um, like I said, you can basically flip a coin to see who's the worst, whether it's basketball or baseball. But regardless, it's one of those two sports. I think hockey is probably one of the more balanced ones. Like obviously, we can make a discussion, an argument about that one. Go ahead, brother.
I was just gonna say to exactly what you're saying, and please keep on. I've never heard anybody complain about NHL refereeing
I know
or
that's what I'm
umpires
saying.
ever.
Like when
Never.
we talk about the tiers of it, no one talks about NHL refereeing at all to any extent. There may be
Literally
some times
never heard of it ever.
where
Have any of you?
9 times out of 10, it's explained right then and there, and they move on from it. There's no one talks about it. Okay, that's how we're calling it. Cool. We all know how we're going to call this and move forward. And I think that's I think the stance the NFL should probably grab. Just listen, let us know what you're going to call this game, so we know how we can play this game. So we're not getting flagged for nonsense we don't feel like we should be getting flagged for. Okay, cool, and move on. Then then you go down to the two worst, and it's a coin flip between basketball and baseball. Baseball clearly has the worst egos, but that's just my personal opinion.
Yeah, Mad Crab,
Yeah,
he nails another one.
I'll
Soccer.
definitely give you that one because
Yeah.
you know the rules. It's simple, and it's funny because you're talking about soccer when you think about it, what hockey is basically you're playing on a frozen field with a puck instead of a ball. It's basically the same sport, except the namings of each position are a little bit different.
Right.
But
Well, and then we're the only ones that call it soccer too, though.
yeah, it's called football.
Everywhere else in the world, that is football. And then here we are over here with football, and we complain about their referees. I mean,
we just want to know how you're going to call it. Because, listen, every referee team they're going to look for this, they're going to look for that, and I think a lot of NFL teams know which team are going to call which, so they could say, hey, Lyman, watch this. They like the if you're doing this or that, they like to call this. So a lot of teams are prepared for it, and I think it just changes with each team that they wind up getting for each game. But it's just absolutely terrible when it comes to baseball and basketball because it's so subjective. But MLB umpires have to be the worst.
right.
I don't think it's not up for debate. It's clear as day. They're they're the emotional ex-girlfriend that just that has to get their point across.
Gosh, MLB I would put slightly ahead for sure. And then to Matt's point, I just want it right. I know as a Gamecock fan, we lost a horrible game on a subjective call in the game against LSU, and it cost us being a college football playoff team. So, if they get that call right, we're in the playoff.
But man, that's why we're gonna see it going automated because there is no consistency with it. It's not like we're saying it needs to be regulated. We've had this conversation for 30 years now.
I think there's room for it to be balanced in all sports.
Mm-hmm.
If you've got to pause the game for 20 seconds
to explain it, this is how we're calling it today,
or to figure out what happened, I think the players would be fine with it. As long as they know they're not getting jilted out of a win at the end of the day. Everybody wants to talk about, the players are sitting there losing their momentum or too much commercial time or, whatever reason you can think of to not get the play right and you're taking too much time to get it right. You know what? At the end of the day, I do not care. Take as much time as you want. We took a day to figure out who won the president one time. I think it's taken weeks to figure that out at some point. Sports, to a lot of people, are more important than politics.
Yep.
So you know what I want? I want you to get it freaking right.
What's that, man? What would I love about that? Please elaborate for me, brother.
Oh, he will.
I know he will.
Mattcraft, are you
We're
following?
getting down to the last few comments of the evening, so I'm gonna
Yeah,
let Mad
Matt,
get
are you
his.
following Steve on X already? You better be.
It's right down there, right underneath my name. It's not hard
Yeah,
to find.
I'm pretty sure he probably already is. If I know him, if I know my guy, if I know my loyal listeners, King, P Digits, Chuck, Mark. Goodness gracious, we had Cyber, we had Josh.
Yeah, Josh
All of
got
you.
quiet after I told him I was done
Oh
listening
no,
to his
no, we're
nonsense.
good. He was all right. He commented good after that. The
Yeah, he's
back
done
it
a
up,
few comments
Ben.
after that, but it's just like
Yeah,
I don't like it when someone tells me I'm ignoring them. Like, no, I don't. Like, we're having a conversation. We'll discuss it. If it's within the ramifications of what we're talking about, I'll absolutely bring it up. But I'm not going to have the chat room dictate which ones go up.
right. Oh yeah, hey, that's a good point by Mattcraft right here, talking about consistency of umpires.
Yeah, no, I pulled that one up.
If the ump calls the outside corner.
Yeah. We
Yeah.
call something in the first, he should be calling in the ninth.
Oh yeah, no, I missed it when you brought it up. No, I just consistent. Yeah. If we can't get it 100% right, at least be consistent. Another dirty C word for Southern Fried
Yeah,
Sports.
but as we're getting closer to it, what are you feeling like it's in your backyard? All-Star games getting closer. How are you feeling, my friend?
There,
Not excited at
honestly,
all, huh?
no, there's
Does
nothing that
it
does
have
it for me.
anything to do with your season, or is it just you don't feel the All-Star game the way you used to?
So I've seen people post, not necessarily me, but I've seen those posts from like people that are saying, well, why should you vote for a Rockies player or an Orioles player or a Marlins player to get into the All-Star game? And I know there's got to be one from every team, but at this point, as a Braves fan this year, it's in Atlanta, and I wish we had 8 people who were all playing great and just go dominate this All-Star game. But here I am over here just like, meh.
So you felt like Philadelphia Phillies fans did in '96 when I think the only person we had was Ricky Batalico, I think.
Yeah, I mean, because when you think about it, we should have Albies, Acuna, Olsen, Murphy, Chris Sale, Ozuna,
The only one I think that should be an All-Star
Riley.
game for at least for my Phillies is Wheeler. That's it.
Right. And that's what, as far as expectations go, that's what it is for the Braves. Like, you have a roster of 10 very good dynamic players, and you can't translate it into anything this year. Like, no, the All-Star game does not have me hyped.
It's sad.
It
You
is.
should
It's tragic.
you should just forfeit and let it come to Citizen Bank Park.
They already did they already took it from the Atlanta once, so let's not do that again, okay?
Yeah, don't pull WWE and tell New Orleans you're gonna have WrestleMania there and just send it back to Las Vegas.
Listen, how are you gonna pull it from a city 3 years ago and then have it
Okay,
there
here
again?
was Madcraft's response to that. They can do display screen glaces, windshields, etc. Why can't we have them design their strikes in 30 minutes before a game?
Because they'd be out there drawing trapezoids, Madcraft. That's why. You'll get the one autistic kid out there playing Minecraft.
Leave autistic kids alone, man.
No, I don't mean it like that, but I'm just saying
I
like that's
know,
what the
but
strike
that's
zone
a
would be.
terrible
Or
point
the
of
one.
reference.
Let me rephrase that. Let me take that back. The one random kid, my son, probably he'd be like, "Oh, you want a strike zone, dude? Hit this dot," or you'll get the people that draw like.
You know what I don't want to see anymore is like when the player knows it's a bait call and they touch their helmet and they get thrown out of the game because they touched their helmet. It's like that's the most ridiculous. This is what I'm talking about. Like this is why you're going to have to take this stuff out of the umpire's hands and just let it be, like you said, a digital zone that it's kind of kept together that way, and that the only thing that they're there to do is just keep the peace anymore because they clearly cannot have any consistency calling balls and strikes. They can't. We're human. We make mistakes. I think it should be overruled. Like, listen, if you call it a ball and it does actually get the zone, that we should have a thing that sits there and says, no, that was a strike. You got overruled on that. But then you're going to have other things. They're going to be crying to their the league offices about X, Y, and Z to just take it out of their hands.
Yeah.
The only thing you're there is to prevent the players from doing this, that, or the third.
Right.
The only thing you should be doing is calling players out or safe at home plate. Calling a balk on this guy. Things of that nature. You shouldn't taking balls and strikes out of their hands should be absolutely done and over
with. I mean, they train the dudes to do this all spring training to warrant if they wanted to challenge the ABS, the automated ball strike system. And then now you're going to throw the guys out because you developed a habit in them. Don't develop a habit in somebody and then throw them out of the game for it. And then, yeah, exactly to your point. Like the balks. There can still be a human there. But either they've got to answer for what they're doing or the governing body has to answer for what they're doing.
Yeah.
And if they don't, I think at this point we can start calling it rigging games. If nobody is willing to step up, take credibility, take action.
How hard is it to sit there and say, I'm human, I made a mistake, sorry. Like, it's not that hard. No one expects you to be a robot and get it right every time, but be a man and said, you know what? It's okay. I made a mistake. I'm sorry. We're going to correct that. That's it. It's not that hard.
Madcraft says, stop playing with me. They've been playing this game like this for a century. How about we agree, though, that they need to answer to someone?
Something, if you're this bad or this long, you don't, you get sent down to, AAA or something, just like the players do.
Something.
So, as we get ready to wrap this one up, Maycraft, last few thoughts, questions. What's on your mind, brother?
Me?
Yes, sir.
I just appreciate Madcraft, P Digits, Gamecock Chuck, Cyberooski, Josh. Appreciate all you guys being here. I'm definitely ready to go call it a night. It's hot.
I think it's ready to wrap this one up. We'll be back multiple more times this week. We're gonna have Inside the Pigskin tomorrow night. Marvin Powell III will be on. Ben Troop will be on. So, guys, make sure y'all drop any comments and any topic ideas you have. I'm gonna try to get the link up tonight so we don't have to worry about all that fun stuff. But me, Mr. Wyatt over here, and Marvin Powell, Ben Troop. We're gonna have some fun this week. Next week, I know we're gonna be joined by Ben's co-host on one of his other programs, so it should be a fun few weeks here for Inside the Pigskin. So, any getting ready for some more football talk with us? Get ready for it. Me and Ben will be here Wednesday morning with our the Fan in the End, and then obviously we'll be back Thursday nights with the Fired Up podcast as well. So guys, make sure you're locked in. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you're sharing out the links to all our stuff and showing us love here on the South Florida Tribune. We will. It's all right, Pete Digits. We know how it is. We're getting up there in age, so it's kind of harder for us to kind of keep it going. And appreciate you, Maycraft. I'll be keeping an eye out. So if you do, follow on X, I'll make sure I get you back there as well. So other than that, fun one in the book tonight. We cover a few topics. We should we went a little deep into the chat room with some of the stuff and kind of got away from things, but hey, that's all right. You guys make it fun for us, so we definitely gotta show you guys some love too. But other than that, put a bow on this one. I'm Steve. He's JD. This is another episode of 108 Stitches Baseball Talk, and I will see you guys next week. Already got a fun one lined up. Told you, Bat Combs. Check it out, guys.